Going for a 4-4-2.
He didn't know what was going on in the room.
Elias managed to refrain from swearing.
He said, if you've got a problem with me, let's sort it out in the gym.
He's exactly the same as our lot. The thing is...
Oh, no, what? Come on! Come on! Where has that come from?
Yeah.
They brought through the door. You know, look at the...
What a performance. What, you know, the guys...
Not that we've ruled off quite a stupid thing, but
Live from Style Space at the Supporters Club. Right.
But he was getting a bit tired, I thought.
Come on! There we go! Come on! Come on! Yeah! Go! Go!
Take a moment to take that in. West Ham have propelled themselves back in to the Champions League spot. We are in a Champions League spot, 8 games to go. West Ham have just defeated Wolves 3-2 at Molineux, and we are in 4th place. Equal on games with Man United, Leicester, Chelsea, and Tottenham. 1 point ahead of Chelsea. Welcome back to West Ham and United. I'm Anton. I'm joined by Stel and Matt. Lads, squeaky bum time again, but we got the result over the line still.
Well, as you said, it was squeaky bum time. I just don't know what. I was asking Matt at the tail end of the watch along, what goes on with us after about 60 minutes? It's as if we kind of, or not even 60 minutes. It's like, you know, half an hour into the first game against Arsenal, 3-0 up, and then all of a sudden, not as if we even switched off. And then we kind of almost did the same thing tonight. And it's weird, but I'm really pleased because we were all sort of like the doom and gloom at the start of the day with the confirmation that Rice is out and everyone's going to, you know, we've blown it. That's it. Season over, etc., etc. But we've done it. We're 4th place and it feels good. It didn't feel good for the last hour of that game, but it feels good now.
Yeah, mate, you can say that again. Matt, how do you feel after that? I mean, it feels like a full-blown workout, doesn't it?
Mate, it's an emotional roller coaster, isn't it? The second half was just horrible to watch because I was sitting there thinking, this is another Arsenal, especially once they got that second goal. But I don't know. We've got another 8 of these games, these left lads. I don't know how we're going to hack the last 8 games if they're all going to be like this.
It's madness, though. It's madness, isn't it, still? I mean, listen, last week or 2 weeks ago, we were sitting here against Arsenal. We're 3-0 up. We're in cloud cuckoo land. We have no idea what's going on. We can see the goal just before half-time, and then it's all panic stations, and we're seeing a bit of deja vu. Again, today, the difference is we haven't conceded that 3rd goal, and we've got the result over the line. But before we dissect that part of the game, let's start working away from start to finish for our highlights and words show. Obviously, we had the news today about Declan Rice was missing from the team. We saw this team, the starting lineups. Stel, what was your thought with all the changes that were made? I mean, 3 big changes we saw today.
Yeah, I think they were pretty obvious. I think we kind of called it, didn't we? Between us, we all knew Noble was going to start. And I know a lot of people have been saying, you know, it shouldn't be Noble, etc., etc. But we knew as soon as Declan was confirmed that he was out, we knew that it would be Mark Noble as a nailed-on start. I thought Fornals would start. I wasn't sure whether Masuaku would or not. But again, because, as we spoke about this before the game, Moyes was going to be defensive-minded. So, again, it shouldn't have been a surprise that Masuaku started. And he did the right thing, weirdly enough. I need to know, always wondered, what the hell are those things on Stel's cupboard handles? They're masks. They're face masks. What's so weird about that? Anyway, so yeah, I knew that Moyes would go defensive-minded. So it shouldn't have come as a surprise that Masuaku started. And it worked.
Yeah,
It worked.
yeah.
You know?
Matt, I mean, we always knew that Wolves, we know their season's been a bit different this year compared to what it was last year. However, we always know that there are threats in their team. What was your thoughts on their starting lineup?
I thought they had a lot going forward, but I said at the start as well, they haven't played well this year when he's tried to play the four at the back. And again, they didn't. They done it
Yeah.
right, you know, after a certain period of time when we started dropping back further. But the team that built on, that got to the top, was it they finished 6th, 7th, or got into Europe, that won the championship, was built on this newfound thing that everyone plays with three at the back of the wing backs. So I felt that while they were going to offer stuff going forward, I thought there was always going to be chances at the back, and we did get a few of them and put them away, thankfully.
Yeah, absolutely, mate. Absolutely. Well, let's start getting into the game a little bit. Obviously, I mean, listen, I can't help but think that, you know, even just before the first goal we scored, we were ransacking the game. We were all over Wolves. It was all West Ham, and in particular, talking about one player, Antonio. Still, I mean, he looked like he was really fit and really up for it.
He did, you know, because I was, you know, talking about Antonio over the last few weeks and suggesting that maybe he should be benched and play the false number 9 because he just didn't look up for it, didn't really look fit enough. But tonight he proved me wrong, and he came out flying and doing really, really well. He looked like the Antonio we know, in a way, at the start of the season when he's really fit, you know, and maybe this long break has given him that chance to sort of come back and really refreshed, and it was really good to see. It was he played well until he was taken off, of course.
Well, in the 4th minute in particular, he hit the post. He's driven forward before unleashing a powerful strike towards the goal, and it's hit the post. I mean, it's came back out. If there was a fox in the box, they would have tapped that ball into the back of the net. But I mean, we never really stopped from that moment onwards, did we, Matt? However, in the next couple of minutes, Dawson picked up a yellow card, very early doors, but that very quickly was eradicated by a fantastic goal from that man again, Jesse Lingard. Talk to me about the goal, mate.
Look, we were talking about it during the live stream. We just find out what Man United want and pay the money. Like, the guy has just elevated the whole team, isn't he? And, you know, let's be fair. There was an opportunity for a counter-attack when he got the ball 30 yards out, 40 yards out from our goal. But then he just picked it up and he turned and drove, and he carried it the entire way from 10, 15 yards in our own half to inside their penalty box and put it in the far corner. Everyone just backed off him. I don't know, you know, they were just so intimidated, but it was quick, it was incisive. Everything that you've said before, we've been missing.
Yeah.
People were scared to commit to tackle him, and they just drove him on and gave him the opportunity, and he buried it.
He's just pivotal to what's the big change and the big shift that West Ham are making, really, isn't he? Still, he's so important to the West Ham side. His attacking ability, his skill, his reading of the game, his ability to get forward and press the defenses and the keepers. It really causes everyone problems, doesn't it?
Absolutely. I'm like a KTEL record, if people remember that far back. KTEL records used to be crappy little vinyl records that you used to buy, and they'd always stay in the same groove. So you hear the record doing the same bit over and over again. So I'm repeating myself, in other words, that I didn't realise how good Lingard was until he came to West Ham. You know, and I was talking to Matt about it earlier, and I was just wondering, like, maybe there are so many good players at Man United that he was kind of hidden away a bit, and you know, and pivotal to them are not only their attacking midfielders but also their strikers, etc. And I didn't really know how good Lingard was until he came to us, and he's put us on the next level. He's put us on a Champions League level. You know, and he's changed the way we play. He closes down from the front. You know, he's only got one thing on his mind when he gets the ball, and that's to go forward, and that's to have. He's not afraid of shooting, and he has been pivotal to us this season. He is this half season. It's hard to think that we did the first half of the season without him. You know, what would it have been like if we had him for the whole season?
Mate, I know.
God. You know, I mean, really, seriously, he's been immense,
Yeah.
absolutely immense. I can't praise him enough. I really can't.
I really don't think that anyone can. He's been so massively important, and I think the game didn't really stop there. I mean, we scored that goal. We're 1-0 up, but I mean, I have to give credit where credit's due. And I know Antonio came off. We'll talk about that in a minute. But Antonio, Matt, was just everywhere. He was putting pressure on the defenses. He was holding the ball really well. He was skipping by players. He was actually being a little bit skillful as well, wasn't he, Matt?
Well, he looked like that Antonio from Project Restart last year. The guy that sort of carried us on his back and scored the goals and got us to safety. And I said in the preview, maybe we should drop him and give him a rest. But like I said, the 2 weeks he had off international break, he looked fit, he looked sharp. He said he was holding the ball up, he was bullying players. And for the first, whatever it was, 20, 30 minutes he was on the pitch, he really was. He was everywhere. He was down the middle, he was out wide. They didn't know how to handle him.
Yeah.
At all.
Absolutely, mate. Absolutely. Then it goes into the 14th minute, and I mean, what a goal! What a fantastic goal from West Ham. The ball's been passed down the wing from, was it Masuaku to Lingard? No, was it Masuaku to Lingard?
For Lingard's goal.
Yeah, no. The second goal, Fornals.
The second goal, Fornals' goal.
Yeah, Lingard's
God, I
picked
can't
up the
remember,
ball.
mate.
Lingard's picked up the ball in the byline.
Oh yeah, it was down the byline.
Quick free
for
kick.
Lingard. Yeah,
and I was that what it was? And then I do not know what he's done. He's done some crazy bit of skill, and he's kicked the ball into the box somehow. Masuaku's got onto the end of the ball, crossed it in, and what a fantastic finish from Pablo Fornals, wasn't it?
Side foot it in, didn't he?
Just opened his body up, didn't he? Opened his foot
calm.
and caressed it into the bottom corner.
Yeah. Really deserved goal for Pablo, though, wasn't it? I mean, a lot of people have.
I mean, we're going to talk about the third goal as well, but there are two players that on and off throughout the season have gotten stick, and I've never really understood why. And Fornals is the first one, and there's been talk about Fornals, and we don't understand what his role is, and we thought he was an attack-minded player, and he's not doing that, and he should be scoring more, and he should be making more. And I think I've said it several times over, is that I think Moyes has changed the way he plays. Moyes has gotten to be a bit more of an all-rounded central midfielder, so he's not always going to be in the box. Whereas you expect Lingard to be doing those runs into the box all the time, getting in the box, scoring goals, etc., etc. Fornals' game has been changed by Moyes. So to get this goal tonight, and the way, I mean, he's just come back from injury. How long's he been out for? 4 weeks, 5 weeks, something like that? I've no idea. But to come back and as Matt just said, to open his body up and to slide it in, that's confidence,
Yeah.
And it's brilliant for the lad. And I'm really pleased for him, because I think a lot of his game goes missed. People don't respect what he does when he's not the goal scorer and when he's not the goal maker, and I think that's fantastic for him. Really do.
Yeah, absolutely. As we're driving into the game a little bit further, there's chances in both ends, but this is when we start to see that there's maybe a little bit of a knock taken to Antonio, and I think it's in the 33rd minute when Antonio's brought off a substitute, more like a precaution. What do we think, Matt?
Well, he looked annoyed when he went off, didn't he? Like, he looked angry that he was coming off, and he was trying to tell him. He put his gloves back on. He was like, "No, I don't want to come off." But Moyes can't afford to risk it, can he?
No.
That was the issue. Moyes. Well, I say he can't. The way we played today, it didn't actually. We do miss him because he makes play a different way, but we found another way to play when he came off. But it's
thanks, Crimson Gareth. Cheers for that.
Moyes can't afford to not have him available, so Moyes just like, oh no, even if it's just a knock, even if it's just a tweak, I'm not having it. You're off. Obviously, Antonio looked annoyed with it, which is good to see. You don't want to see players happy to come off.
No, of course. And the player that came on for him, though, I mean, we'll come on to the Antonio thing in a minute, but the player that came on for him was that man, Jared Bowen. And, within 4 minutes, he stepped up with a goal and made West Ham 3-0 up. Still, talk to me about Jared Bowen.
Well, this is the next player that has been much maligned by the fans this season, and I don't get it. I really don't. I think Jared Bowen is an excellent player. Even an excellent player will have a dip in form or whatever. But what a goal! What a run! The diagonal run he made opened up the space, and that that strike, if you look at it, it was like a hair's breadth between the post and the keeper's fingers. You know, I think it may have just slid off the post in, but to get that accuracy and that strike, you know, the ferocity of that strike was just brilliant. I mean, he's got it in him, and what a great goal. And another player, like I said, is much maligned. I don't get it. I don't understand why Fornals and Bowen get the criticism that they do. You know, especially when they come on and they, you know, and they play the way they did and they score the goals that they have. So brilliant. I'm really pleased for him, to be honest.
And really, up until that point, Wolves did have chances, but they were half-hearted chances. And it was a little bit like deja vu, like we've mentioned, 3-0 up West Ham, and then something just clicks. It's like the West Ham team are shell-shocked. We're panicking. We don't know what's going to happen. We don't know how to... What was it you said, Matt, during the Watchday Live? West Ham, there's no plan for being 3-0 up.
Well, you don't. I mean, most teams don't have a plan for it, but literally, we get to 3-0 up and we're like, what do we do now?
And really, what happened was in the 44th minute, Traore's made a fantastic run down the left-hand side, crossed the ball in, beating a few of our men. Dondonkers headed the ball into the bottom corner to make it 3-1. And then, bang, we're back at square one. We're sitting here shitting ourselves again, really, aren't we still?
I just want to comment on this before I comment on that. A depleted squad, really. No Antonio, no Rice, no Ogbonna. Arthur and Fornals only just back, you know, half fit. Noble on his last legs, and yet we're grinding out results. I think what's happening is we're going 3-0 up, and we're hoping job done. But a game is 90 minutes. So if it was, let's say, if it was 2-2 with 5 minutes to go and we scored the winner, we'd have been jumping up and through the roof. Do you know what I mean? So it's all, but it did worry me when they scored that one goal in 44 minutes. I did start thinking, Arsenal,
Here we go again.
Arsenal,
Here we go again.
You know, and it did worry me, because what that does is, I know people were saying in the chat, you know, this is, Wolves aren't Arsenal. It's not that. It's just that gives them that little lift, and at the same time, it gives the West Ham players that little sense of doubt. It's like even they must have been thinking, "Oh fuck," you know, it's now 3-1 again at half time. You know, deja vu. And I did get a bit worried. But yeah.
Well, I mean, we've gone into halftime 3-1 up, and we, like you said, still, we were absolutely worried. We didn't know what was going to happen. Wolves came out, made a substitution, and it did kind of change the game, really. And we really weren't in the second half much at all, were we, Matt? And it took, I think, West Ham actually scored another goal at that point, but it was denied because of the Souček handball. Was that right? Is that right?
Yeah, it was handball, wasn't it? It was handball, yeah.
Yeah, controlling it with his arm, and it went. I think it was a quick VAR check, and it stayed 3-1. And at that point, you thought, God, that was the goal that West Ham needed. However, it wasn't, and we were trying to see the game out. But what happens? 68th minute, game on. Neto produces a brilliant pass, split open the West Ham defence, and that man Silva puts the ball right across Fabianski into the bottom corner to make it 3-2 West Ham with 20 odd minutes to go. Still, it really was.
Let's turn this round on you. What did you think, Anton? What did you think of that when 3-2, 20 minutes to go? What were your thoughts?
Yeah, I'm exactly the same way you are. I'm squeaky bum time. I'm panicking. I'm thinking, what are we going to do? We need to get a hold of this game. I thought they were clever. They reacted well. They targeted areas of the pitch where we were struggling, and I actually think today we struggled down. I thought Soufal had a really good first half, but after we went 3-0 up, he started to struggle because they put Traore right on him, and he just targeted him, and then they targeted Creswell down the other wing, and that's where they did in the second half. And I think that was where the problem was, because Creswell made the big mistake. Creswell stepped out. He didn't need to mark the player, because Noble had plenty of time. He was covering the player, and because he stepped out, they were clever enough to play the ball through to him, and then he took the ball forward and scored a goal. And it was disappointing, and it's just finish. Yeah. And it is for me, it's just a little bit like there's a few defensive errors creeping in there.
Yeah. And we miss Oggy.
Well,
like you said, you said it in the game. It was trust, wasn't it? No, Creswell didn't trust Noble to win it.
Noble.
So he jumped. It
looked that way.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah,
And he
it's a
jumped
bit
out, made
weird.
that
He should have been in
decision
that
to make.
position, but yeah, it's disappointing. But you know,
And that's
we've
what
got
people
20
give
minutes.
Diop abuse for it, and it's like, well, that's not Diop's fault.
It wasn't Diop's fault. That second goal was. It started off. It's interesting because we were talking about, and I know we're going to get onto Noble in a minute, but we were talking about a lot of things weren't going through the middle of the park. They were targeting wide, etc. But that started off in the middle of the park, and as Matt has just alluded to, Creswell looked like he was trying to help his captain out, so he stepped out. But by doing that, it means he was completely out of position, and it left Silva completely free.
It was one of those. It felt a little bit like schoolboy error. It was a little bit like Creswell genuinely believed he was going to get the ball.
Yeah,
and he'd committed rather than being the professional that he is to go. Do you know what? In this position where I'm at, I don't need to commit. I don't need to go forward because, in actual fact, where the ball was when Neto had the ball, there must have been 8 West Ham men behind it. And because Creswell stepped out of position, he left us absolutely open wide. And do you know what?
Jump out,
here's the irony.
Do you know what? But we've got to give credit. We've got to give credit where credit's due. Creswell's had a fantastic season. He's back to his best.
It was an error. Yeah, it was an error. But the irony is, sorry, Matt, go on. You go, and then I'll jump in.
I was just saying, if he doesn't jump out, they don't score that goal at all.
Yeah, they don't. But what I was going to say is the irony is Moyes had made the change in order to give Creswell more support by bringing on Johnson and it's happened twice now. And this ain't Johnson's fault either. It's happened twice now. Moyes has made that defensive switch, and twice we've conceded from that side. If you look at the Arsenal game, all their goals came from the right hand side, our left hand side of defence, and this goal tonight was the same. And but it was a Creswell error. But the irony is, Johnson came on in order to offer that support, but it didn't happen. It didn't work. Yeah. So should Johnson have slipped back when he saw Creswell stepping forward? Maybe, but I think it was a Creswell error.
But do you know what's happened? We've saw out the game, guys. We've saw out the game. We've walked away with the 3 points. We're winning the game 3-2, and look what's happened. Bang. We're in this position. We've got 8 cup finals left. 8 bloody cup finals, and
very much.
Do you know what?
Bum time.
We play Leicester next.
Oh, lads! If we win that, we're a point behind them. I mean, honestly, I really don't believe this.
But
I mean, if the table was upside down and we were 4th from bottom, we'll be like, yeah, right. We've got 8 cup finals to keep ourselves in the Premier League. Now it's 8 cup finals to get in the Champions League, people.
I genuinely believe, see the comment you're making there, I actually think this is rife throughout West Ham, including the playing staff. We as fans are sitting here going, I can't quite believe it. However, when we turn up before the game, we're confident. And I think the players are actually in the same boat. I think they've got so much belief in that camp about how they can progress forward. And when they do progress forward and do really well and score 3 goals, they are like, what the fuck? And I made a joking, jesting comment that David Moyes was sitting in the touchline going, I don't know how this is happening. I don't know how this is happening.
Well, we were joking, weren't we?
Yeah.
Like, Moyes probably said to the players before the game started, defence, keep the ball away. And even he must have been going, these lads aren't doing what I'm asking them to do.
Yeah.
That we're 3-0 up. What's going on? I'm going to have a word with them. But it's the irony. I mean, the irony of that is people do say that we do tend to drop back. If we'd lost tonight, we'd have been out of the title.
Oh yeah, because we can still mathematically win the title.
We can.
Liverpool can't.
But you know, do we drop back too much? You know, do we have this sense of comfort that we think we're comfortable and I mean, we don't go 3-0 up that often, but we've done it twice now and almost slipped up twice. But
well, listen, I mean, tomorrow we're going to go through some of the comments and we'll talk a little bit more about the game before we go. It's going to be a short review. However, tomorrow night, Matt and Jake will be back for the player rating show, 7:30, isn't it, Matt? They'll be rating all the West Ham. Is that right? You're looking like it's not right. I think it is.
I think so, yeah.
7:30 tomorrow night on the YouTube channel, West Ham Irons United. Come and check it out.
Nothing like a bit of professionalism at West Ham Irons United. We don't even know what time we're putting our shows out.
It will be 7:30, and obviously tomorrow during the day there'll be a West Ham Daily. Thankfully, that Stell's doing. But anyway, before we leave or anything, a couple of players I want to kind of just talk to you about. First up, Mark Noble. Let's discuss Mark Noble. I mean, for me personally, I thought he had a good game today. I think he done everything he needed to do. Someone said in the comments they felt like he was at fault for the first goal. That was when he went sliding in. But
I think he would have got sent off for that if he got.
I think if that had connected, he'd got sent off. Therefore, Traore's still got to beat 3 players. And he did beat the 3 players.
And he did, yeah.
And he did. And it was just a good Wolves goal. So I can't really put massive amount of blame onto him. Matt, you look like you want to say something on Noble.
Yeah, so I've got some stats up for him that I just found on Twitter. So he had 100% long passing accuracy.
Is this Noble?
Yep, 89% passing accuracy in general, 100% long passing accuracy, 9 ball recoveries, which was the most by any West Ham player, 6 final third passes, 4 interceptions, which was the most by any West Ham player, and he put in 2 tackles.
I'm really surprised at those stats, to be really honest with you. I'm not kidding. I'm really, really surprised.
I'm really not, mate. Really not.
I really am, because I think Noble did a job that he was asked to do, but there were times when Wolves. I'd be interested to find out how much of those stats were when we were still 3-0 up, because I don't think they're stats when we started to concede goals, to be honest with you. You know, Pam, I like Mark. I don't know about Mark Noble starting. I think he'll come in and he'll do as good a job as he possibly can. But it worries me, because as the game was wearing on, we're finishing 3rd, yeah. As the game was wearing on, I think it was passing him by a little bit too much.
Well, yeah, because he's not got 90 minutes in him. He's got about an hour.
He's not got 90 minutes, yeah. I want to ask Rolf, if you comment later down, Rolf, what were you not happy about? The fact that we conceded 2 goals or something else? So let us know. Sorry, what was that, Anton? Still doing it? Well, that's a tea time show tomorrow.
We'll discuss. If he doesn't want to do it, I'll take one for the team, and then he can do the rest of the week.
I'll do it. I'll do it tomorrow. I'll do it tomorrow. And you do the rest of the week. Matt, are you working this week?
Me, yes.
I've already messaged him. Don't worry. I'm trying to get him. Don't worry. I'll talk to you after, though. I've got an idea.
What, pre-recorded?
Let's go through some of the comments.
Go on.
You've got me for. I'm here for 5 more minutes. So, let's go through some of the comments.
I'm right up near the top. Do you want me to?
Yeah, but that's going to be 2 hours. So
No, it ain't. Sean, some West Ham fans said send him back after to Manchester after the Fulham game. I guess that's Lingard. I mean, he has been a revelation, hasn't he? Absolutely.
Oh, yeah.
We've said it. What else have we got? Dave Luxton, Lingard covered more ground than anyone else on the pitch. I thought he had done a hammy, but no, game management, he called it. He just looked tired, didn't he? He just looked a little bit tired. Tinotenda Mulandu, give me a shout from Zimbabwe. Shout out to you and thank you for joining us.
Well, you got to do a look there. You need to do a look there.
Yeah. Tinotenda Mulandu.
Oh, sorry.
I feel stressed by Anton having a go at Stell, GP. Thank you, mate. I feel stressed by Anton having a go at me as well, because he just doesn't know what he's talking about.
I feel about stressed by watching West Ham play. I know that much.
Yeah.
Scott, sorry, folks. I love Noble, but he was behind the play all game and gave the ball away way too many times. That's why I'm surprised at those stats, to be honest with you. So they do.
Well, he had 89% pass accuracy. He didn't give it away all game, did he?
Well, I don't know. I want to know when those stats were, Richard, it's a worry when Noble starts and finishes a game. It's a worry, but...
That's what I said.
No, we won.
I think he's got 60 minutes in him. Yeah.
That's it, Anton. All the others were Tinotendo asking him to give us a shout out. Huge one. I think Man U will try and keep Jesse and probably want to sell for under 30. Yeah. I don't think they do want to keep him, to be honest with you. Pam. We always love Pam coming on, the voice of reason. My midfielders mug with Noble, Parker and Lindbergh on, I used every day for 13 years. It smashed on Tuesday. So I've been in mourning. Should we send her a mug?
Yes.
Let's send her a mug. Pam, email us.
I'll tell you the email. I'll put it in right now. I've actually got about 4 or 5 mugs that we've said we'll send that I haven't sent that I need to send.
We are a
Professional as always
shower.
here.
We're an
No.
absolute
Professional
shower.
as always.
Yeah, no, but these are
no.
freebies. These are freebies.
Yeah, but send them out. They're not
I know.
free if they don't get them.
Do you know what I'm going to send them? You know what? I'm going to send them to you. Still, I'm going to send them to you, mate.
You do that. There you go. I do have plenty of others. Well, you haven't got a West Ham Irons United one, have
No,
you,
you've
Pam?
not.
So we'll
You've
send
not,
you one
Pam.
of those. We'll send you
Pam,
one of
send an email to ironsunited1@gmail.com. I'll pick up your email. Send me your name, obviously your name, your address.
WMP. They're all going, I'm Pam Flowers. Oh, I'm Pam Flowers.
Right, listen, let's just head. That's the review done, guys. We're Champions League spot. Yeah, we're Champions League spot. Yeah,
Best team in London.
Champions League. We're having a laugh. Champions League. We're having a laugh.
And yeah, massively exciting times moving forward. Squeaky bum time moving forward, but good things happening. Tomorrow, plans moving forward. We're on Monday night, so tomorrow we've got West Ham Daily. Tuesday during the day. No, I'm Pam Flowers. I'm Pam Flowers. This is my wife. Right, listen. West Ham Daily tomorrow, 1:30-ish. No, 1 p.m-ish is our new thing we're going to say to you. So,
well, basically, we're always on after Russ, basically.
Yeah. So we should change it to 1:15-ish then.
I think
so
we
that's
should, yeah.
Tomorrow afternoon, that's the time. Tomorrow night, 7:30, Matt and Jake are back with the player ratings for today's game. So make sure you join them tomorrow evening, and then we'll be back with you on Wednesday for another daily show. And that's really been it. So thanks for watching. Please make sure you subscribe, like, comment, all the malarkey. Thanks for all the comments.
Sorry, Pam, not Flowers, only a flower.
Well,
Sorry
that means nobody's getting anything because they've all said their name wrong. So, Pam, you are getting it. Don't worry. Thanks for joining us. I've been Anton. He's been Matt. He's been Stel. This is West Ham Irons United. Come on, you Irons.